Welcome back, everyone. We hope you had a good lunch and are feeling refreshed for the session 2 of today's webinar. So, before we continue with session 2, I would like to take a moment to highlight our upcoming webinar happening on 19 November. This is the title Common Tax Issues Faced by SMEs. So, you can join us to uncover practical solutions for common SME tax issues, special treatments and incentives that can help your business save more and grow smarter. So register now and level up your accounting game. Now I will pass back the call to you, Mr. Keith.
Thank you so much. So make sure the voice is clear, and then I share my slide now.
Yes, it's loud and clear.
All right. Let me do a little bit setup. I open the Q&A first and the chat box. All right. So welcome back after the lunch. So now we will look for the gig economy. It's a new bill coming together soon. It's a gig economy. It's like freelance. So gig economy is a labor market. So characteristic by short-term contract for the freelance work lah. So because freelancers were no protection, so that's why the gig economy we come out this bill to protect the freelancer. So especially for those freelancers who are working on the platform one, like Grab, Panda, so on. So for the worker, often we name it as a gig worker or independent contractor who are paid for the gigs and they complete offering the flexibility and autonomy. So this reputable sector in Malaysia so encompass diverse range of service, transportation, food delivery, and creates the professional consulting as well. So currently the bill passed on Dewan Rakyat August 28, 2025, and passed by Dewan Negara September 9, 2025, and next day is waiting for the Royal Assent, waiting for Gazette. So gig economy, the key player, so there will be some compliance as well. So key player, first we have a worker, the individual who are the freelance. So we have a digital platform, the company who are connected the worker to customer. So like Grab, Foodpanda, Outwork, and then afterward we have our regulation authority. So gig worker will consider like working is doing business. So gig worker they are considered doing a business. So they can deduct their expenses from their revenue and declare under the individual tax. So whether you are registered with SSM or you don't register SSM, you also consider yourself as a business income. So there will be some authority compliance on the platform like EPF and like SOSO. So EPF will be the ISARAN for the gig worker. So definition for the gig workers. So a citizen or permanent resident who are under service agreement of earning performed. So any service with a platform provider or a service specific in the schedule with the non-platform provider. So contracting entity is an individual or body corporate or a platform provider who engage with the gig worker through the service agreement to perform the service in exchange for earning. So platform provider is a specific type of contracting entity defined as a digital intermediate system provider. So who connected the service for gig worker and to the user, to the customer. So under the gig worker, so they are considered as a contract for service. They are not contract of service. So if contract of service, you will consider as a worker, so you are the employee of the company. So now you are not the employee of the company, you are the contractor to provide the services to the platform or to the any contractor entity. So look at the terms and condition for the service agreement to be specific. So now if you're working for the platform, they will have agreements agreements. So there was some compliance, some term and condition for the agreement now, because the bill will be gazetted soon. So all the contracting entity, all the platform, they should have a clear term and condition in the service agreement. But one thing, for service agreement, you will have another issue as well. The issue is a stamping issue as well. So now we look at the term and condition. So in the term and condition, the party to the agreement, you need to specify the party to the agreement, the period for the agreement. C, the service to be provided by the gig worker. And D, obligation of the party. E will be the rate and the detail of earning of the gig worker. F will be method of payment of earning. And G will be any gig worker benefit or tips or gratuity, if any. So the bill will further provide any less favorable terms than those prescribed in the bill, which are void and shall be substituted with the term as provided under the bill. So this is something to protect the gig worker. So about the rate. So the rate should be included the rate transparency. Your rate should be transparent. So right to inform the agreed rate and the detail of the name before you agree to perform the service. And timely payment. So payment, there's a right to receive the earning within the agreed period or within 7 days of service completion if no period is specific. So it is similar to the employment, right? Employment, you have to pay yourself. So this one should be similar. So deduction restriction. So it's a prohibition on any deduction from earnings or tips unless authorized by the law. So permitted by DG or to collect an overpayment from the preceding 3 months. So you are not allowed to deduction. So earning slips. So the right to request the earning slip from the contracted entity to ensure the transparency and maintain record. So for this earning slip, so the platform will be provided. So and then there is some issue on the e-invoice as well. E-invoice. So if you deal with platform will be the one to sell bill to all the merchant or the service provider. If you are a service provider, you deal with the platform, they will issue all the invoice to you. If you deal with platform, because under platform you have to do sell bill to your the service provider, the merchant provider, and you will issue e-invoice to the customer. This is a platform. They are responsible. They are meant obligation to do it. So this is for invoice. So for all the gig worker, so you will receive your sell bill, and then you have your you have to declare your income. So this is a good thing that confirm that if you are gig worker, you are doing business. So you don't need to argue anymore, and you can deduct all your expenses incurred where you are traveling, your parking, your entertainment, or you need your stationery, you have the accommodation. So those related to your service provide and your service performed, then you all can be deducted. So this is good for you. You don't need to pay the exact amount you earn, because if you didn't deduct it, you have to pay extra tax. For priority of earning, the stipulation that the gig worker earnings up to 4 consecutive months take priority over the claims to secure the creditor in event to attach a garnish of the contract entity. So thereafter, for the bill create, so for the dispute resolution pathway, so it may have a dispute within the gig worker and the contracted entity. So once there's a dispute, so the gig worker must log a written complaint with the contracted entity. So the entity have 30 days to resolve the dispute throughout the internal grievance mechanism. So if cannot solve, then the internal, if the internal mechanism fail, so is absent or its decision is unsatisfactory, the gig worker can lodge a dispute with the conciliation letter. So the conciliator role is to promote an expeditious settlement between the two parties. So, and then if the conciliator is certified with there's no likelihood of dispute being settled, then the matter will refer to the gig worker tribunals for a final decision. So this is a fall for dispute. So for the tribunal, so gig worker tribunal is a new one, specifically body established to hear and determine the dispute that cannot be resolved by the conciliator. So the feature and the summary as below. Jurisdiction to hear and determine any dispute of matter referred it by the conciliator of the minister. So, and then composition. Appointment by the minister, it consists of president, the deputy president from the judicial and legal service, and along with 5 others members who are legal professionals have the extensive experience in the labor and industrial relation. And representation right. Representation by advocates and solicitor is excluded. So when you go to the dispute tribunals, you don't engage the lawyer. So it is excluded from here. So the party may represent by the official of the gig worker association or the authorized employee of for the entity or family member promoting a less formal or more accessible dispute resolution process. And nature of award, an award made by the tribunal is binding on all the party and is deemed to be an order of a session court, making directly enforceable an appeal process. So any party accused by the decision may appeal to the High Court on a question of law within 14 days of the award being pronounced. So for consultative council, so the bill establishes a consultative council, serve as a primary advisory body to the government on the key economy and policy matter affecting the key economy. So it's for an encompassing requirement on not just the minimum earning rate, but also the formula used to calculate the earning or other minimum standard across the different sector and region. So the council member were detailed in the clause 51. So design the representative, including the public officers, and equal number of members representing contracted entity and the gig worker. So the structure facilitate the trade parties dialogues and shaping the future policy. For the enforcement framework, to ensure the compliance, the bill leverages the authority assisting government body. The Director General of the Labour is the task to supervising and enforcing the compliance with the worker right defined in the Part 3 and the award issued by the gig worker tribunal under the Part 5. So this integration with the established labour enforcement apparatus provide the new framework with the immediate supervisor capacity. For the social security protection. So this framework is for the social security for the gig worker. So for this will target the push price to responsible on the digital intermediary who facilitate the signature portion of gig works. So the primary duty imposed on the platform provider. So this one will deal with the platform provider. So include register their gig worker under the self-employment social security scheme and deduct the contribution from the gig worker earning and remit them to the social security organization on the worker behalf, and then integration their digital system with the organization system to facilitate registration and contribution. So the gig worker their earning will be deducted to contribute on the social security protection. And then after, the budget also introduced a significant policy to protect the gig worker. So mandatory social contribution. The government will cover 70% contribution for the first time register, and then 50% incentive for the second year. And then after EPF Aksaraan Plus. So for EPF Aksaraan Plus, the gig worker need to be contribution. So once you contribution, the government will matching your contribution. So 600 per year and was 6,000 over a lifetime. So means this one maintain 10 years, you have 6,000 from government. So after that, we will cover a little bit about Forest City. This is all already gazetted order, PO order. So for Forest City, now is mainly promote for the family home business, family home. So you can sell your family home there and sell your fund, and then you invest, and then whatever you're earning, you can have the incentive deduction. So first, you can have your RPGT exemption. So RPGT tax exemption for non-citizen and non-PR individual, and there will be a type. And then stamp duty remission, 50% remission for individual, and the 5% on the property and financing. And stamp duty exemption, 100% stamp duty exemption for the single family fund company certified by the SC. So Forest City is Pulau Wan. So this is a designation, and then the legal basis, all incentive will be tied with a specific location. This is by the Gazette. This is and then objective, attract the investment, spurs the financial service, and boost the economic activity in this region. So then, so for PO Order 358, who are the eligible person? So individual who are not Malaysia citizen and not permanent. So this is for foreign. So for the time frame, from September 1st, 2024 until July 31st, 2034. So this will be applied to your SPA, sale and purchase agreement. So the type exemption on the taxable income from the disposal the property in Pulau Wan. So this is first year 30%. This is a RPGT rate. First year 30%. First 3 year 30%. Number 4 year 20%. 5th year 15%. 6th year will be 10%. So the incentive provide the partially exemption gain for the disposal year 4 and year 5 by reducing effective rate and full exemption from the year 6. So when you disposal in year 4, the standard 30% rate for the non-citizen is reduced. Formula, you will exempt 1/3 of your taxable income. So tax pay is remaining 2/3. You have to pay the tax at 30%. And when you disposal in year 5, so you will exempt half. You will exempt half on taxable income. So you pay the remaining half, and disposal in year 6 will be 0%. So and then stamp duty remission, you have a 50% when your instrument for transfer, SPA, and financing agreement, facility agreement. And then after for qualified person, stamp duty is the same. Oh yeah, there's I received the message for this. I'm sorry, I just stopped a while. Yeah, I received a message for this, but I haven't called back to the HRD Corp. It's the same message which I received. Sorry, I just stop a while. Yosada, are you there? Maybe later I call back to the boss. Let me continue finish it first. The topic I give the HRD a call. Stamp duty remission.
This meeting is being recorded.
So it must be executed from this period, September 1st, 2024 until December 31st of 2034. And the status construction must be completed before 1st of September 2024. And then the seller executed with the developer and must be verified by Iskandar Regional Development Authority. Remission is 50%. So means what? You stamp duty, you pay the 50% only. Another 50% you don't need to pay. So example, you purchase a 1.5 million commercial unit. So by stamp duty calculate should be 44,000. And then the loan will be 6,750. So total stamp duty 50,000. Then you only pay 50%. For the single family fund company, so you can have the full exemption 100% for your stamp duty where you transfer your asset, and then your transaction between the SFFC, so single family fund company and its family members or their holding company for the assets, because when you set up the fund house, you are going to transfer, do the transferring. You maybe transfer your individual asset, you maybe transfer your company share, so they will exempt the stamp duty. Then after condition, this is a high value incentive specific requirement. The single family fund company, you must operate in Pulawan, Forest City. And then afterward, the SFSC must be certified by the Security Commission. The asset transfer must be executed within 1 year of the SC certificate date. Effective date from 1st of September 2024 until 31st of December 2034. So for the summary pro and cons, so non-resident investor attractive by the 0% RPGT if you hold more than 6 years, and then individual you will benefit the 50% stamp duty remission, and then those tech company and finance company also can enjoy the 50% stamp duty remission. And for family office, then you establish, and with the SC certificate you can get 100% stamp duty exemption on your asset transfer. So the cons is just all the incentive have a execution time and stamping deadline, and then the property status for remission are only for the unit complete before September 1st, 2024 is registered as new construction. You can't enjoy. So verification require, all remission require verification by the IRDA, and then you got your administrative step to follow up. So RPGT for local, so does not apply to the exemption for RPGT is not applied to Malaysian citizen and PR. This is encouraged because you know the Forest City is Forest City so little person there. So now to encourage more company, more family office, more people go there, so more foreigner to invest in the Forest City. So that's why they have so much of incentive to promote this Pulawan Forest City. So we go on the update of stamp duty. For stamp duty, we have to understand stamp duty were imposed on instrument. So first thing you must know what is instrument. So the definition for instrument as any written document. So writing or written includes any handwriting, typewriting, printing, electronic record or transmission, which is an electronic readable form. So the person liable to pay the stamp duty is set out for the schedule under the third schedule of Stamping Act. And then the assessment and collection, you also need to of the stamp duty is sanctioned by the Stamp Duty Act as well. First thing, instrument you have to be aware. During the budget seminar, the first budget seminar organized by Lembah Council, that's the question asking instrument where I email my customer when we are talking with a certain condition or criteria for the transaction, will it result as a instrument? And the officer said yes. So officer means up instrument is not a formal agreement. It could be any writing thing or any email. Email can be so you have to be aware. You instrument. So but you don't go for stamping. Example like SME, a lot of SME they don't have employment contract. Just by a simple letter, confirm letter or a very simple letter. So they don't go for stamping. So you have to understand you must go for stamping. So this is important. You don't go stamping, you will have compound afterward. So for stamp duty we got two types of duty. One is a fixed duty. Fixed duty is imposed without any relation to the consideration paid, and the amount was stated in the instrument. So for the fixed duty, normally it will be a statutory declaration, your duplicate copy, intermediate bond. So it will fix at 10 ringgit. So ad valorem duty. This rate of duty is variant according to the nature of the instrument. So and the consideration. So or on the market value of the property. So for example, your instrument will transfer your SPA. So stamp duty will based on your SPA and have a different method to calculate the rate. So if you are SPA transfer of property, if you are Malaysian, it will be from 1% until 4%. If you're foreigner, then currently it's 4%. Next year onward will be 8%. So and then tenancy agreement. So tenancy agreement also based on your term and your value. So this is a different kind. So you have to check with the guideline. So and then afterward, for stamp duty, so formally the stamp duty is by assessment system. Means you will submit your document to the Lembaga Hasil Stamp Duty Department, and then they will assess your document. They will justify your stamp duty amount, and then you make the payment, and then afterward it was digital franking stamp for you. So this is a formal assessment system. And then now we are start to partially set to self-assessment system. So means you have to do yourself through the electronic mediums. So now when you do SAS, self-assessment system, so you have to upload your document into the new system, and then you have to calculate your stamp duty, and then you will make the payment. So what's the difference with here? If you're using the formal method, when you calculate the wrong stamp duty, no issue at all. You put down a wrong percentage, no issue at all. But when you come to SAS, there will be a risk when you have a wrong interpretation. So once you put make the wrong, and then you pay the wrong stamp duty, and then after when come to audit, you always need to understand one thing is when the self-assessment come, means IRB will be deemed accept your submission. So IRB will deem you are doing the thing correctly, you are compliant to everything. But you have to know stamp duty is quite complicated. In certain area is quite complicated. So when you make the wrong thing, it doesn't mean you're doing compliant. Because we have a limited knowledge, we have made a wrong interpretation and we become a wrong submission. So and what is your risk? You have to pay the compound when it comes to audit, because SAS always come with the audit. So why there's audit for stamp duty audit for this? Because to ensure the compliant level always stay. Just you submit your income tax, and then when you have made your wrong judgment, it come to the compound. It's the same. So you have to be aware when it comes to stamp duty. And then afterward, stamp duty assessment system, they have the phase 1, 2, 3. So phase 1 will be render, tenancy agreement, and general stamp. It will 1st of January 2025, and then phase 2. Phase 2 will be 1st of January 2026, transfer the property SPA without the valuation one, and then phase 3 will be other document in 1st of January 2027. So currently all already have a stamp duty for your employment contract in year 2025 already. So employment contract, you have to be aware for the year 2025, the employment contract only enforcement for the new employee who are entrant to your workforce from the 1st of January 2025. Those existing staff, you don't need to stamp. Only for the newcomer. So if currently you haven't stamped your new staff who are already joined your workforce, but you haven't stamped yet, please go to stamp. Once you stamp, there will be a stamp duty you need to pay, and then afterward there will be a compound come up because you late submission. So you have to click waiver. You click the waiver, then afterward you submit one more time for the waiver, and then afterward you will waive your compound. So current year 2025, you just make sure before 31st of December submit your new staff stamping, then you pay the stamping. The IRB will waiver your compound, but remember you need to do one more step. You submit first and then come to compound, do one more step to appeal for your waiver, and then they will apply for you. So stamping is a must. And from the year 2026 onward, then if you let stamping, there will be a compound. Come out. So when you have to stamping, so an instrument, when you execute in Malaysia, an instrument must be stamped at or before the time of execute. So in practical, it must be stamped within 30 days for your first execute. And then if you execute outside Malaysia, if the instrument is executed outside Malaysia, it must stamp within 30 days. And then afterward, who will be liable to pay the duty? So instrument will transfer SPA. SPA will be the buyer pay the duty. And then loan facility agreement also the borrower. Tenancy agreement will be the lessee, the tenants, and then duplicate copy will be the person who want to get the copy, and transfer or share will be the transferee, the buyer. So one more thing is the stamp duty, who are the one responsible to the stamping is the who need to pay the fee. Example, if I provide freelancer, I provide a letter, provide a service agreement. So we sign a service agreement. So I am the one send you a service agreement, and you are the one to sign the agreement with me. Then afterward, who have to do stamping? Whoever made the payment are responsible to do the stamping. This one also from the Lembaga Hasiah when they have a Q&A answer from the officer. So then after look at the stamp duty exemption on the budget 2006. So now in budget 2006, so for the insurance policy and takaful certificate for perlindungan tenant product, which cover the family life and general insurance or takaful, with the premium or the contribution not exceeding 150 ringgit, you will have a 100% stamp duty exemption for this premium. So this exemption apply to the insurance policy and takaful certificate issued from the 1st of January 2019 until 2025. So now they extended another 3 years. And then for another insurance policy as well. So the insurance policy or takaful certificate with the low annual premium or contribution. So if the purchase of the insurance policy or takaful certificate with annual premium or contribution not exceed 150 by individual, or you purchase the insurance policy or takaful certificate with annual premium or contribution not exceeding 250 by the MSME company, so you can have the 100% exemption, and then this will extend another 3 years. It will extend from the 1st of January 2026 until 31st of December 2028. For employment contract, so previously employment contract was subject to stamp duty for 10 ringgit, and then the employment contract for the monthly wages not exceeding 300 ringgit per month are exempted for stamp duty. So this is the stamp duty at 1949. 300 ringgit at is very big amount, but now it's too small. So now they start to update the act. So they increase the amount from 300 to 3,000. So that means if your employee, their salary are below 3,000 per month, then you don't need to pay stamp duty. But with a way, you still need to file the stamping. So IRB officer answer say you must stamping your contract even though your stamp duty are exemption. This is from the seminar, from the budget seminar itself, from the lembaga hasil. But anyhow, some party, some association, they still go on to look for the IRB. Maybe there were consideration where there is the exemption to need to file. Because why? Because already stamp duty exemption, but you still need to file the thing. Means what? Your administrative cost come in. So you can imagine if you have a factory, you got 3,000 staff, and if your staff are monthly salary below 3,000, then the problem is you need to file the 3,000 stamping, right? Every month you got 10 come in, 20 come in, 30 come in. You will keep your administrative work filing, even though you are stamp duty exemption. Those whoever more than 3,000, you pay 10 ringgit. So you can see, for this part, you will incur a lot of administrative time cost. Imagine if you are a big factory, you got 10,000 workers, then you really have to purely look for one person do this job only. Purely do this job. So administrative costs. One more thing is 3,000 per month. So this 3,000 per month, is that only for salary? No, officer said it's include everything. So maybe your salary said 3,000 per month or 2,500, then you pay the allowance 500 and other allowance, and add on you are more than 3,000, so you have to pay your stamp duty 10 ringgit. So you have to pay for this. And then you can look for the FAQ from the IRB website itself. Stamp duty there, they have the FAQ provided for the employment contract. So after that, stamp duty non-resident, this one already shared with you. So from 1st of January 2026 onward, when you execute your SPA, and remember, if you are non-citizen, you have to pay 8% stamp duty anymore. Pay stamp duty 8%. I already have a illustration on my property investment site. The slide there. For first resident home, I already show you as well. First resident home, it extended another 1 more year until 2027. As long as you are your first home buyer, you can enjoy the stamp duty exemption for your SPA and your loan. So if you haven't buy any property yet, it's your first home, you better act faster. But one more thing is, if you have joined in with someone already, and now you're going to buy the first home on your own name, sorry, I don't think you're able to enjoy this, because you already purchased the property already, so it's no longer your first house. Then afterward, for the ETF, exchange trade fund. So for contract note, for sell and purchase a transaction on the ETF, and then the structural warrants subject to stamp duty rate will be 0.1%, maximum of 200 ringgit for every contract note. So now stamp duty will be extended to another 3 years. So, and then stamp duty for penalty and fine. So this is the penalty and fine. So you look at the offense. So the first offense is registration for instrument of transfer of debenture or share. If you execute a bond and you didn't duly stamp, so you will have a fine, and not existing 250, purpose will be increased. So you no less than 1,000 and not more than not existing 10,000. So you can see the respective offense increase the penalty. So you failure to pay the remitted compound duty to the collector within the fixed period. So or before the 14 days of the next month, and then you will have currently fine is 200 ringgit or 10% of the amount payable. Now increase to 500 ringgit and 20% for amount payable, whichever is higher. For offense of failing to disclose all facts or circumstances in the instrument duly executed with the intention to evasion payment of duty, then now your fine currently is not more than 2,005, now increase not less than 2,005 and maximum will be 50,000. Offense of execution and signing the document which have been duly stamped, then you will currently fine is not more than 1,005 and then now increase will be minimum 1,000 and maximum 10,000. For number 5, offense of failing to execute and transfer the contract notes. So currently 1,005 maximum 1,005 compound, and now proposed will be 1,000 minimum, maximum 10,000. The last one offense related to the stamp certificate, such as selling or falsifying the stamp certificate and others. Currently compound is 5,000 maximum, and then the new proposal minimum 2,005, maximum not existing 10,000. All the effective will be for 1st January 2026. So and then for the stamp duty become a self-assessment. So last time when you go for formal assessment, the officer are the one to assess your document and check with your stamp duty calculation with the respective the rate, and then they will tell you what is your actual payment. So this is a final assessment because officer already assessed your document. But now become SAS, self-assessment. Where self-assessment come in, there's no clear provision about the self-assessment. Whether when you filing your self-assessment, is there a final and conclusive? So that's why for the effective 1st of January 2026, this provision have been amended to provide the assessment to rise under the SDS as treated as final and conclusive. So for payment day, payment day for the duty is when your assessment done, then you make the payment currently, and then go to the proposed on the budget effective from the 1st of January 2026. So for the duty payer who submit the return and instrument within or exceed the prescribed period shall be required to make the payment duly within 30 days. So remember, it's within 30 days, it's not within a month. 30 days a month is different. So from the date of assessment is different. So means once you file your assessment, you have 30 days to make your payment for your stamp duty. So after for refund, so for formal assessment, you file and then officer will tell you how much you will pay the exact number. So it will be no refund, and also you won't pay the wrong stamp duty because officer assess one. So now that's why for the existing provision, there's do not include any refund for relief of the error or mistake declaration. So now when you are self-assessment, there always has a chance become error or mistake, right? So when the error or mistake incurred, like example, you file the mistake, and then later on, after you check everything, and then you have confirmed that you file wrongly error, so you go to apply for relief, and then afterward you can make request for your refund. So that's why effective from 1st of January 2026, there's a proposal allow refund to make for overpayment of duty. And then separate payment of duty. So for currently, duty payable by any party involved in exchange for real property is borne by the party equally. So example, you have two owners. So then the stamp duty come out, whether one owner is a 1/3 and other is 2/3. So the stamp duty come out is still go on equally. So now from effective 1st of January 2026, the proposal come in, the duty shall be payable by each transferee in the accordance with the value of the real property acquired. So it will follow your own portion, your value, and then stamp duty will adjust respective value lah. So you just pay your own value. You don't have to pay equally. So for the stamp duty, there were some practical issue. First, some I already shared during when I am sharing the employment contract stamp duty part. That's the slide there. So we come back to question one. Question one is employment contract signed within the year 2025. It is compulsory to submit. E-stamp is a yes, it's compulsory within 2025. So please file. Remember, must file before 31st of December. You can waive your compound. You can waive your compound. Or else after you still didn't file, you will be compound. So number two, engagement letter. So normally, professional, we will provide an engagement letter to ask our client to sign. So this is the question raised and the Q&A part in the Lembaga Hasil the budget seminar, and officer said yes, engagement letter is a service agreement, so you must subject to stamp duty. So now this is a question to the professional. You see, for auditor, actually you will ask your client to sign engagement letter every year. Tax agent also same. So you can see now you have a lot of administrative work have to do. Example, if you got 500 customer, you sign 500 engagement letter this year, you need to file 500 document. Sign next year, another 500 document. When you increase your client 1 year, one time you become 1,000, you have to do 1,000. And then end up, you need a specific staff to do this engagement letter filing for stamp duty. Actually, the administrative cost is more higher than the stamp duty you have to pay. Stamp duty 10 ringgit. Then after from the employee without the TIN number, can you file e-stamp duty? So you see, we have a new employee come in who are just fresh grad, and then maybe they don't have the TIN number, but they join you. So when they join you, you need to file the employment contract. You need to go to stamp, but they don't have the TIN number. You are unable to file. You are unable, but if you are unable to file, but still consider you are offense. You are offense if you don't file because no TIN number. So you should have a SOP there when your staff. You are going to confirm your staff, you should put down some requirement that they must have the TIN number before to join you, right? Something like this, or they must immediately go to apply TIN number once they confirm the join. So maybe you confirm the offer to the staff, then you will tell your staff, please get your TIN number before you come to the company. So and submit the TIN number first you come, and then company can go to stamping, right? And then remember, there's an employer duty when you have the new staff come in, where the staff suddenly reach the PCB compliant, need to subject to PCB, then you file the CP 21, the filing. So you must file the CP form. So there, you also need the TIN number. You need all the information. So there will be some SOP and for your HR when you're hiring the staff. For question 4. Question 4 is about intergroup agreement for the loan. So beside the loan agreement or intergroup, some management agreement and so on, or other agreement, as long as you have intergroup agreement, will it be exempted from the stamp duty where because you don't bring this agreement to the court? You see, if you want to bring the agreement to the court, you must stamp. So a lot of time you didn't stamp the agreement, but when you have a court case, you will go back to stamp back lah. You will stamp back your agreement. It still can bring to the court one. So now is wonder because intergroup you won't bring the case to yourself one. You will never happen this issue lah. So that's a problem. If we don't bring to court, can we don't do the stamping? So officer said no, you must do stamping. And now another problem coming. If you want to stamping in intergroup agreement where you are under the loan, then you got a problem. Because why? Because the loan agreement is subject to 0.5% stamp duty. So today you got 5 million, 10 million, 100 million loan, then you got a problem, especially like those company intergroup have a big loan. So this is one of the issue. So if you don't stamp, then it come out another issue when you, because you are intercore, you have the TP issue. You need to prepare your TP document when you cannot fulfill the exemption. So you must prepare your TP document. So when you prepare your TP document, then you need your agreement, right? You need your agreement. So agreement to be evident, then your agreement should be stamped. Then officer will be accept your agreement. If your agreement don't stamp, officer will reject for you. This is some issue will come in as well. So there's a lot of practical issue. Business decision, you have to do your decision. When you stamp the loan agreement 0.5%, if you're 100%, 100 million loan, this is a big sum already. For stamp duty on employment contract, so can we upload the scanned copy with the offer letter being censored the confidential information? So you see, when you're stamping your employment contract, you need to upload the document, right? So sometimes the package are sensitive, so you are going to censor it. So this Q&A in the same seminar is officer send. You must scan, give me the original one. You cannot censor anything. So this is some security issue for all the employer. They are worried there will be a leaking issue for this one. So you have to think about who are the one to handle this stamping, because salary are handled by the HR. So HR know all the sensitive issue in the salary package. So if you're stamping, you ask another person to do the stamping, means someone out of the HR department knows so sensitive thing. So it may be a leaking issue, or if the system being lacking the information, you will have all the issue come. That's why the employer are asking, can we censor the thing? But IRB said no. Only you must give the original one. This is all the practical issue during the Q&A. So for the submission for stamp duty for employment letter. So this is the flow how you submit your stamp duty. So you go to the stamp day, this stamp duty assessment system. So you register first, then afterward you log in. Once you log in, and then you can start to do your stamp. You select your stamp, and then afterward you select what kind of stamp. It's a general. So then afterward you put down your date of agreement, and then then you click continue. So then after select your stamp office, and then put down your document, employment letter. Then who are you? You are the this is a principal, and then after you are submit, and then you have select the role and fill out the detail. So you fill out your role and detail. So afterward, and then declaration, and then submit. So you pay the 10 ringgit. So if you have late submission in this year, then you will see there's a compound come out. Then remember, go to do one more time waiver, appeal for waiver. Afterward, it will auto waiver for you. Next year onward, no more. Please submit your employment contract on time. So for administrative change. So for this year, a lot of there's not much the new thing. No new tax system. No much a new thing. Mainly impact on your administrator. So most of the relief deduction, some just extended, some just increase, expand the scope, or increase a little bit some amount. So now look at the administrative impact. So for administrative impact, so under the set off your excess payment, where you have excess payment. So currently, when you have excess payment, you can transfer within the income tax, PITA, patronal income tax, and the RPGT. You can offset each other within these three. So now, new proposal coming, you can extend to Stamp Duty Act and LAP 1. from the effective date will from 1st of January 2026. Means in the future you can have set off more different types of tax. So instead of waiting for refund, so set off is another good choice. But currently some practical issues there is IRB not allow you set off again your CP204 your payment. Also the CP 500 for individual. There's a change for individual CP 500. For individual who are not under the business income, who don't have business income, but you got rental income or other income than your employment, IRB will send you the CP 500. You don't be surprised because CP 500 now extended. Last time CP 500 is only for focus on business income only. When you have business income, you are subject to CP 500. But now that expanded to coverage all other income. So as long as if you only employment income, you have no CP 500 because you pay PCB already. However, if you have any rental income or other income, it will subject the CP 500 will come to you, even though you don't have business income. So don't be surprised. Now you have to pay your CP 500 because you have rental income. Always remember for the CP204, you should be more effective. So from the YA2025, CP204, you have your 11 month already. So CP204, we have our 6 month, 9 month, and 11 month. 11 month was the last one, 11 month. So you have to ensure yourself made the accurate CP204, which you don't have a 30% differential, or else you will pay the percent compound on your differential. The actual compared to your estimate, where there's a 30% different, then you have to pay additional 10% compound. So you make it accurate. Why we say accurate? Because why? Because if you pay extra, your refund is very hard to get back. Recently, IRB only pay you a certain partially refund, and then afterward the rest will be installment. This installment cost you couple of years to get back your money. So please make it more accurate. When you accurate, then you can have a better cash flow management for yourself. If you want to wait for refund, now is very, very, very hard to get the refund. For the next one, MITRS. This one is the last one. Next one, sorry. MITRS partnership fund. MITRS. So MITRS is our income tax. Tax reporting system. Submit the document to the MITRS. So now company and individual, they are mandatory submit. So when you submit the income tax return, you have to attach all your documents. So for the purpose for the partnership, when partnership, it will start in YA2027. YA2027. So then for the appointment of employee of partnership to furnish a prescribed form. So currently the main partner is not allowed to appoint employee as a representative for partnership. So partnership, you will select one of the partner, become the registered partner in the IRB system. So this partner can access the system to submit your CP, your filing form, or submit all those prescribed form. So, but you can't appoint a representative. So now, from the year of assessment, from the 1st of January 2026 onward, so the principal partner is authorized to appoint an employee to furnish the prescribed form on behalf of the partnership. So now you can appoint a representative. You can appoint your staff go to submit all the prescribed form. And for restructuring of installment, so first installment payment for the tax estimation shall be made in the second month. So this is CP204. And then of the taxpayer basic period and shall be end in the first month of the basic period for the following years. This is a current practice. And now it will the changes. So to amend the first installment for the tax estimation payable to the first month of the basic period, and then for the year assessment and the installment end in the same year of assessment. So transitional period will be equivalent to the YA2027, where the installment payment from the YA2027 shall be commenced in the second month to complete the same number of months in the basic period of 2027. So then you will less 1 month. Let me illustration. So this is the one refer to the IRB, refer to IRB seminar notes. So you can look at here in YA2027, this is your period when you are December year end. So December year end, so you submit, you will start your first CP204 in February, and then you will end in the January. So this is the 12-month period. So we assume that YA2027, your total estimation tax is 120,000 for the 12 month. And 2028, you will start in the 1st of February 2027, and then payment until the 1st is January 2028. Total your estimate is 240,000. So now, because the first payment is February, and then you will make your payment on 31st of 15th of March. You made your payment, and then your last payment will be February. And then every month is 10,000. This is my money, and then 2028, your money is 20,000. So this is according the previous assumption. So now what is the changes? The proposed changes is 2027. You will less 1 month, so means you will become 11 months. So your 120 you are going to divide by 11 months. So your installment by money will be increased. You will increase because you less 1 month. So 2028 you will maintain, and 2028 your 12-month end will be end in your same year. So you can see 2028 your last payment is January, no longer February. Your last installment is December. So you pay in 15 January. So this is the schedule. Your last payment of February become January because for YA2027, you let 1 month. This is another illustration you can see here. So you can see when transitional period is 2027, so 12 months will cut 1, become 11 months. So your CP204, you will be revision already. So 2028, you will follow, you will early 1 month, and then your last month will be early 1 month as well. So you still maintain the 12 months, but you move forward 1 month. And then for authorization electronically for filing a form, to file the form, you want to authorize someone. So currently, electronic filing of any prescribed form by tax agent and employee shall be authorized in writing through the CP55 format. So currently, when appointment, we as a tax agent, we will ask you to sign the form CP55. So in the YA2027 onward, so all the electronic filing of any prescribed form by tax agent or employee shall be authorized by electrical only. So everything will be by E already are digitalized. So then after, for disposal of capital asset, so currently when disposal of capital asset, disposal will cover your sale, comment, transfer, assign, settlement, or alignment. So by the way of SPA, sell and purchase, or by the operation or law, include the disposal of share affected throughout the capital reduction and share buyback. So now they are proposed for 1st of January 2026 that clarify that the disposal should be include your redemption when you redeem your share, when you conversion, when you winding up, you also need to file. When you dissolution and other circumstances resulting in the cessation of your share ownership. So now, when you winding up, if example, when you wind up your company already in that, you got nothing. You still don't forget you need to file the CGT. At first, CGT is your capital gain tax. So CGT is what? First, CGT was subject to company, LLP, trust party, and corporation. These four party. You hold a unlisted company share. When you dispose it, you subject to CGT. CGT tax rate will subject. So this is CGT. You need to file capital gain tax return. So now, when you dispose the share, normally you sell it, then you are under CGT. You need to file. But in future, even though when you redeem, when you conversion, when you winding up, and you dissolution, everything will cover. So when you winding up, you got nothing. You still need to file zero. If you don't file, you're non-compliant, it will compound you. So this one you have to be aware. And for the liquidator, I think liquidator have to be aware for this when they come to winding up. They are the one to go winding up the company. So this one is just clarify more activity to be considered as a disposal, the definition. So effective from 1st of January 2026. And then afterward, for the CGT, the date of disposal. So how you determine your date of disposal? Currently, the date of disposal is which the ownership of the capital asset is transferred when you transfer it. So example, if the share when you transfer is based on your section 105 the transfer form, right? Transfer form, you put down the date, means the share already transferred, but you still need to go to SSM to transfer the registrar to update the record. So and then or the date which the amount of value of consideration is received, whichever is early. So this is determine your date of disposal. And because the disposal definition now is cover more scope. It's covered more scope already. So that's the reason the date of disposal they have to clarify as well. So for the date of on, which the share ownership end, or the date of consideration is received, whichever is early in respect of your capital reduction, your share conversion, your share redemption, or other similar transaction. And also the date on which the shareholder rights are extinguished, means you dispose of, or the date of the consideration is received, whichever is early upon winding up or dissolution of the company. So this is how you determine your date of disposal. So this is effective from the 1st of January 2026. And now, when you dispose of the share, unlisted company share, so sometimes the unlisted company share was held by the nominee. So how do we know the share was held by the nominee? When there's a beneficial ownership disclosure. So when you are the nominee to hold the share, that's why in the LLP, if you are LLP or you are the Senyum Berhad, you must disclose the beneficial ownership. So when you disclose the beneficial ownership, you tell the SSM, you tell Lembaga Hasil, you are the nominee. So when it comes to dispose the particular company, the unlisted company, you dispose it, then you will subject to capital tax return. So the question is, who are the one to file the CGT? Are the nominee file the CGT or the beneficial owner, the actual owner to file the CGT? So now, when you dispose unlisted company share, where this share was held by the nominee, so you let me illustrate the chart. So first, you are the company XYZ. You appoint a nominee to register a company. So to hold a company lah. So this company was held by the nominee, and nominee disclosure the beneficial owner, you are the one, the beneficial owner. And now you are disposal this company's asset, capital asset. So this is you are disposal the unlisted company's share. Unlisted company. Always remember CGT are unlisted company share. So you dispose it, and then who are the duty is not the nominee. It's back to the who are the one receive the benefit. So beneficial, you are the one to subject to CGT return. So be aware, don't file the wrong, don't file the wrong person. So you are the beneficial, you should file this. So effective will be from 1st of January 2026. So afterward, we will go on the just reminding, if you have any Q&A, you can put under Q&A. So now we have a 10-minute break. 10-minute break. Later I will go on to the SST. Most of the budget I covered, and now I go for the SST from construction SST, and some update from construction SST, and you have to pay some important thing you have to be aware. So I will have some briefing from SST for construction here, and then afterward I will have a briefing for e-invoice as well. We have some refreshment and then some update from e-invoice, recent update. I will brief you the update as well, and we will discuss some practical issue. Then it will be end for my sharing today. So let me go back to, so we have a 10-minute break for a while, short break for a while, and then afterward we come back to the SST service test for the construction work services. Thank you so much. So we have a short break for a while. Thank you. All right, let's continue. So update for SST for construction. Construction is a new services, new testable services introduced at the June time, and then afterward announcement in June, and straight away tell you have to implement in the 1st of July. It's short term market, is unexpected. So now, let me have some brief reference to everyone for the construction service who are in this industry. So for the construction service is a new testable service, and if you refer to your service test regulation, so it's under the Group L construction work. And first, for service test we must read this regulation to ensure you are understanding what are the testable service, which one is non-testable service. Because why? Because the SST return, you need to file very accurate now. Even non-testable service, you also need to file the number in the SST02 return for the new form. So you can go to have a look. The new guideline day, custom already released. So now first, who are the taxable person? Where any person who provide the construction work. So you are the taxable person when you provide a construction work. And then later I will explain to you what's the meaning by construction. Because construction work service is so general. You need to go deep, so you need to refer to construction work service explanation, the definition for construction work. So, and then second, look at the testable service. When you are the person provide the construction work, then you should know what kind of services you provide should be considered as a testable service, or what are the services considered non-testable service. Because why? Because testable service is the one to calculate your threshold. The non-testable service is not under your threshold. And then you should know that when the service test exemption. So why there's an exemption? Exemption is the government give you some exemption for you to reduce certain issue. First is reduce the double tax issue, some exemption, and some agent to government to give some relief to the special like SME. So this is some exemption there. So it will reduce the double taxation. So now exemption means your transaction are taxable service. You should be paid tax, but because certain reason you can be applied the exemption, so you don't need to charge SST. You don't need to pay SST. So this is the exemption. So your exemption transaction still considered part of your threshold. So you have to know how to calculate your threshold. It's very important. So now, what are the taxable service? So provision of any construction work service. So if you do any construction service, you are a taxable service. But excluding what? Excluding when you construct of residential building and public facility related to residential building. So means if you are the one construct residential building, you are the main purely do the residential building, you are non-taxable service. So no matter how much revenue you have, 2 million, you have 5 million, 10 million, 100 million, all is residential building, you are not counted as your threshold because you are provide a non-taxable service. You don't need to register construction work services because you're not reach the threshold. Your threshold is 0 because you didn't provide a taxable service. So this is how you determine your threshold, and remember the threshold is 1.5 million. So for construction work services, so what's the mean by construction work services? Is including the construction, extension, installation. So means you go to install the thing. You install the thing also consider construction work service. And then repair, renovation, relocation, modification, automation, refurbishment, or demolition, including the facility management during the construction period. So you can say a simple word there. If you do anything when the building are during the construction period, you consider under the construction work service. So for construction work service, you is for build anything. You build any structure like house, hotel, office, roof, bridge, jetty, airport, and so on. So for the type of construction work, we have our construction work, we have our civil engineering work, we have our M&E, mechanical and electrical, and facility management. So now you go deep now. Go deep. What's the mean by construction work? So construction work is referred to process for planning, building, and completing the building structure. You will from start involving to verify until ensure the structure are built and then complete the job. So this is construction work. So civil engineering work. So civil engineering work is the construction involve the design, construction, and maintenance and physical for the infrastructure. So the main component for civil engineering in the construction are as follows: structure design, site management and construction supervision, road construction and transportation infrastructure, drainage system and water management, building foundation and site preparation, job technical engineering, environmental safety and sustainability, cost control and budgeting, infrastructure maintenance and management notes. And this is not limited, not limited. And go on with the M&E. So M&E is work in the construction involve the activity related to the design, installation, maintenance, and management of the system that will support operation of the building. So the mechanical component refer to the construction of the system related to the internal environment of the building, such as the installation or construction of the air conditioner system, ventilation system, piping system, wastewater disposal system, fire protection system, and so on. So meanwhile, the electrical component will refer to your construction of the power supply system, energy usage within the building, such as electrical wiring system, your lighting system, lightning protection system, electrical safety system. So you can see M&E is cover everything. It cover everything. So facility management, then you have to be aware for facility management, because you have two stages. So first one, so for facility management, you will be referred to the process of planning, maintenance, and managing the building asset and facility during the construction period, and is considered part of the construction work. So what happened after the construction period? So if after the construction period, it should be subject to maintenance service under the Group G first schedule. So Group G is 8%, Group L, construction work, is 6%. So you have to be aware. So it means in future when you issue the invoice, you have to be very specific. You must know your period. Very important, because you charge the wrong rate, you will have a problem. You need to top up the difference. And you also have a problem that you need to justify yourself when you provide the professional service like engineering, right? Your M&E professional service. Are you provide a professional service or you provide the construction work services? You need to justify yourself. So this is very important. So it will be a little bit confusing for the professional group and the construction work. Simple word say, if you sign an agreement for your construction project, you are the part of the construction project. I will say you are part of the construction work. So just 6%. So professional work will be like architect. You draw, then you are professional service. So you are just a professional service. Engineering, you just calculate the costing. You are professional service. You are not involved in the construction side. Then you are not fall under construction side. So for construction service here, for the value will be 1.5 million. 1.5 million. Taxable person is the one to provide the construction work services. You are the taxable person, and then threshold is 1.5 million. And then always remember, the 1.5 million threshold are subject to the construction work services, which is excluding the residential project. So now look at the example here. The AB Building Senayan Bahar has contract for 550 ringgit, 550,000 ringgit for the shop building. So this is what? This is a commercial activity, right? So this one considered is a taxable service. And then you have another contract for 1 million for residential building. So how much your total revenue is 1.55 million, 1.55 million for your total revenue. So even though you reach the 1.5 million, but however, when you calculate your total revenue is more than 1.5 million. However, when you calculate the threshold for the taxable service, you only have 550,000 only, because the 1 million is a non-taxable service. We don't count. So you don't need to register construction work service. The group L is taxable service. So where you register it, so now they will have a exemption. There will be has an exemption. So we have few type of exemption. First one, we have a government entity. So for federal government, state government, local authority, you will have are exempted for service tax on construction work service. Means what? Means if you have a project with federal government, state government, or local authority, when you invoicing them, you don't need to charge service tax. You don't need to charge service tax. But be aware, local authority is only exempt from the 1st of July until 30 of September. Local authority only. So from the 1st of October 2025, you must charge local authority service tax. And then for the exemption, B2B means business to business. So B2B means there will be a three party to involve. One is a customer, one is a middleman, and one is another the subcon provider. So example, subcon provider service to the maincon. Maincon will charge the customer. Maincon charge the developer. So maincon and the subcon is the B2B. So where there's a B2B apply, you must be have condition to apply is you must be same service provide, and then the services not for own consumption, and then you can apply B2B. So means what? Means they were, when you apply B2B, they always have one person, one party who are the responsible to pay the tax. So for B2B apply, you have to be aware your invoicing. So invoicing should have some declaration. You should put down the customer name, address, and also you need to show the customer service tax registration number, and then the amount of service tax exemption. And you need to disclose in 18C there. So you need to look at the new SSC02 form, the new form. Your declaration for B2B will be C1, 18C1. For government will be 18C3, other exemption, because C2 is a good relief. So you have to be very familiar with every transaction. So you will submit your SST return, which is accurate. So this is a B2B exemption. B2B exemption. So always remember, provider and recipient must be registered person. And then the construction service are provided to the registered person, and both parties are the same construction group, same group. So construction service provided are the same business, same service, same group, and both are registered. And then after, not for own consumption, then you can enjoy your exemption. So end up the customer will pay the service tax. So means the subcon charge the maincon no service tax. Maincon will charge the developer service tax. So developer is the one to pay the service tax. So now look at example. SPB is a subcon. Subcon provide a construction service to the ABC. So subcon and ABC, the maincon, they are same group. Both are registered person. And then they are same service, construction service, and they are under the same group L. And then these services is not for own consumption by ABC. Maincon is not for own consumption. Maincon are going to charge the developer. So ABC will charge the developer. That's why when subcon issue the invoice to maincon, maincon will inform the subcon, please issue invoice under B2B exemption. So refer to service tax policy 3, number 4. So you can, for all the exemption, please refer to service test policy. Service test policy. Let me see. Have I have the service test policy here? Service test policy. Let me see where my service test policy. Let me open the service test policy. Service test policy. And then there's a number 3. There's some update for the construction work service test policy. Let me open the file first. Let me open the service test policy so I can share with everyone. And then number 3, the transfer for number 3. Service test. SST service test policy. Number 3 amendment. All right. So look at the service test policy. Now we by the way, can you see the screen change to the policy already? If yes, can you key in Y for me? Yes. So I know that my screen already changed to the policy. Yeah, it's changed to policy. I saw it. I know how to check it already. All right. I'm not familiar with the webinar. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you. So now look at the policy. So first one, you should remember everything you must refer to service test policy for the respective group. And then you can read the exemption here, all refer to here. Now we look at number 3. We just show you the update. Because if follow the slide, this is number 3 only. This one is a number 3, the amendment, and then we have number 7. So I'll go back to slide first. Go back to slide first. So slide here, we have our service test policy in here for the non-reviewable contract. So non-reviewable contracts, if you have a non-reviewable contract and then you fulfill the condition and then you have a grant for exemption, which you have a 1 year, 12-month period, 1 year from the 1st of July 2025 until 30th of June 2026. You don't need to pay service tax. So means you don't need to charge your customer service tax. You can enjoy this non-renewable contract. But for non-renewable contract, there will be some criteria you need to follow up. So first, both service provider is a registered person, and then the contract must not contain the price revision, means you cannot change the price, your price is a fixed. And then it said the contract, it must be made in writing, signed and stamped by the Lembaga Hasil before 9th of June 2025. You know the policy announced, it already passed this date. Means what? Means you totally have no chance to go back to stamp your agreement. You see, sometimes when we have some contract, we never go to stamp one. So this is some issue if you didn't stamp your agreement. So you cannot enjoy the non-renewable contract. So at the time, IRB said you must stamp before 9th of June. And then the contract must be clearly stated your type of service, your fixed contract value, your contract duration, and then contract must be remain in force after 1st of July 2025. And if you have any variation order, the service tax exemption, you can still have the same period to granted not pay the service tax. And then the variation related to the technical implementation and does not affect the overall contract value. And the variation has been incorporated with the contract throughout the writer agreement also stand by June, before June of 2025. So if you got EOT, if your contract include in the EOT extension of time, so the service tax exemption also have the same period, but the EOT is based on the original contract with the condition A and B. No change your price. All right. So the original contract value remain unchanged. The original contract end before 9 of June, and then EOT document signed and stamped by Lembaga Hasil before expire of original contract period. So this one, most of the time you have no chance to make it one. You cannot go back to stamp it because you already after the 9th of June. Announcement are too late. So after that, what happened? So the come out the number 3. Let me go back to the number 3. So now, in number 3, stamp duty policy amendment. You see, amendment come in. Amendment, what is the changes? So first, look at the exemption here. Exemption here in here. Federal government still the same. No condition. As long as federal government, you don't charge. Local authority. Federal government also consist of state government also same. What about local authority? Always remember local authority only exempt from the 1st of July until 30th of September. 1st of October start, you must charge. So, and go to non-renewable contract. So, non-renewable contract, you can enjoy the grant for 1 year, 12 months, but you need to refer to Appendix A. Now, we have a look at Appendix A. As Appendix A is about your condition. So, you can see the condition is the same. You must register, you must be a provider, you must register service tax. And then contract cannot change the price, no adjustment for the value. And you must be, you look at here, this is the changes. Remember just now I told you, you must stamp before 9th of June. Announcement is after 9th of June, we have chance, you totally got no chance. Then afterward, custom change it. Custom say, as long as you stamp before 31st of December. So now you still have a couple of, you have not plenty of time. You say you have 1 month plus. You can faster do your stamping, then you can enjoy your non-renewable contract. So you must stamping before, but the thing is your contract is made and signed before 1st of July. Contract must sign first before this date, then afterwards stamping this date. So you have to put down your date, sign your contract. And then when you bring your contract go to stamp, the stamping date will, as long as you before 31st of December 2025. But and then you become late filing. You have to pay your stamping fee. Other conditions still the same. You have contract need to show your type of service, fixed contract value, and then remain in force. The rest still the same for EOT variation. So now we go to, so the amendment for the non-renewable contract is they give you additional time to stamping your agreement. And remember, always remember your signing date should be before 1st of July. So, and then for construction, residential building and public facility related to those residential building within a mixed development project. So at first, when the guideline share out, when the guideline announced, published in the customer site, the guideline say what? Where there's a mixed development, residential unit and the rest public facility we share with the for the residential unit, all will be subject to construction work service tax 6%. So if you are mixed supply, you need to pay the tax. What happened? Your residential unit for the mixed development have to increase because your cost increased already. So for those projects already published the price. When you publish the price, you cannot change your residential price without any reason because you are registered with the government already, the respective authority. So if the 6% come out the cost, you immediately your profit will be reduced, or you may be have worse impact to your project. You will make a lot of increase your cost. So now after this publish of number 3 amendment come out 17 October 2025 come out, it say custom change their position. They say if you are mixed supply, if you are mixed development, as long as you are built residential and public facility related to the residential, as long as you are residential, you were exempted from service tax. It will exempted from service tax. So now we refer to B, how to exempt. So remember, if you are mixed supply, everything subject to service tax. However, custom give you to exempt your residential building. Custom give you an exemption. So now look at this, the condition applied. To exemption from the payment service tax is granted to the developer or the landlord undertaking the construction of residential building and public facility related to the residential building in the mixed supply. So now you need to understand that this is taxable service. This is not the non-taxable service. This is taxable service, but custom give you exemption. You have to make it clear. So, but if you purely build the residential project, you are considered non-taxable service. All right, you have to be aware for this. This is an exemption given for mixed development project. So, what are the conditions? Look at the condition first. First, you must get the verification by surveyor, architect, or any qualified person unauthorized under the relevant written law. And then, for the following component: first, residential building, non-residential building, public facility which related to residential and which one is related to non-residential, and the public facility which is related to residential and non-residential, they are shared together. Why? Because you are going to apportionment, right? You need to apportionment your service provide, which part is residential part, then you get your exemption, which part is a commercial part, everything subject to service tax 6%. So after you have all the area, the build up, clearly stated the build up, and then now you can start to do the apportionment. So you must follow this formula. So formula is by your non-residential build up divide by your total build up. Your total build up is because you are mixed development, right? Your total build up is include your non-resident plus your resident. So non-resident build up divide by total build up times 100%. So you will get your percentage, the portion for the non-resident build up. So this portion, this part of your total construction value was subject to the service tax. Then the balance is exemption. Remember, it's exemption. So then, for the construction service contract between the developer or the property owner and the construction contractor must be made in writing, signed, and duly stamped with the lembaga hasil, the contract. So and then after, then after the contract will refer to the item B. It must be clearly stated for the construction mixed supply, mixed development project. B is what? B is here, apportionment. All right. It must be clearly stated. Your mix, your build-up area, and then afterward you must include the clause relating to the scope of work, responsible type of residential building construction, technical specification, and pricing. And after, the developer or the owner must submit the following document to the MainCon. So if you are MainCon, you need to talk to your developer. You inform your developer, if you want to enjoy your exemption for the residential unit, please provide me following document. Give me your pre-computation plan, or give me the approval plan permission letter issued by the local authority. And the last is the developer or property owner and the MainCon must comply with all the general directive issued by DG. So this is all the conditions you must fulfill. So MainCon and the developer have to work together. to in order fulfill all the condition, and then you can save cost on the 6% exemption on your residential unit. And we go on the next one. Next one on B2B. So for B2B, this is the build and design, design and build. Let me go back to the slide first. Let me see. Okay, before I go to the continue with the appendix C, let me continue in the slide first. So let us navigating the 2025 SST on construction, the changes. So June 29, we have our service tax policy, third 2025, and then just now October 17, amendment for number 3 coming, and then afterward October 24, we have number 7. So number 3 was more about the exemption issue and double tax issue, and also for the build, design and build. So later I explain to you why there's a design and build come in. And then number 7 will be the separate invoicing. Your material and your construction service can use separate invoicing. So now look at the important tools for invoicing. Look at the separate invoicing. So now, if you issue the invoice, you bundle all your construction project lump sum. So example, your project lump sum is 2 million. So you lump sum, then how much your 6% will be 120,000. So if you able to separate your invoice, separate your itemize your invoice. So you separate your invoice. So you can separate your invoice into one line is construction service, another line is supply material. So example, if your material is 1.2 million, your service is 800,000. So construction service 6% only subject to your construction service only. So 800,000, your service tax only 48,000 instead of 120,000, because material you buy and sell material, consider you are trading. Nothing will be subject tax here. So there will be 72,000 different for the pricing, and it will make you become a competitive in when you tender your project. And as a developer, they can save price on this. So before the service tax 7 intro release, so we already have a plan like this. We also give a suggestion to all the construction better separate, and then all the construction players, they also worry whether the customer will challenge them. End up the service tax 7 come out, confirm you can do this, so you don't have to worry now. So remember, you to tender, you must go two tender, two contract for your one tender. One is your material and one is your construction service. So the method is how you are going to differentiate the value from material and construction service. I think this is more technical. So this is a compare, then you can see the service tax pay. For the lump sum will pay more, for the separate you can pay less. So you make it, you are more competitive. So now we go to the design and build. Design and build. So what is design and build? Before this, let me go to here first. So for the construction, and then we have few methods for the construction for the developer. So first, the developer can appoint the main con just purely for construction only. Or the main con can ask the developer can ask the main con to do everything. So this is design and build contract. So traditional contract is main con only do the construction site. So they will provide the material and do the construction site. They don't deal with the other professional like architect, civil engineer, surveyor, or the professional. So if under the traditional way, you can see the main con will bill the developer 6% on the construction work services, and the professional will bill the property developer 8% on their professional service provide. So now look at the design and build. So when design and build come in, you know, 1st of July already start, right? So when you're under the design and build, you have a problem now. So first of all, B2B criteria is what? B2B say you must be registered person, both party, and second, you must be in the same group, and then afterward you provide the same service. And now look at here. If you are the main con, you are under design and build contract method, you are the one to cover out all. So means what? You will deal with your subcon, you will deal all the professional as well. So for you and your subcon who are provide the construction service to you, totally no problem, because why? They are B2B to you. So when there's invoice issue B2B, there will be no service tax charges. But what happens when you deal with the professional service? So professional service will issue the invoice to you, surveyor, the architect, the lawyers, the engineering issue invoice to you to charge you professional service. They will charge you professional service. Can you the professional say, hey, come, can you issue invoice to me B2B? So no, you cannot enjoy B2B because why? Because B2B criteria is it must be same group. You are different group. Professional is good G and you are good L. It's totally different group. You cannot enjoy this. When you cannot enjoy it, when the professional bill you 8%, what happened? Means your cost increase 8%. When main cost increase 8%, the main cost will charge the 8% to the developer, another 6%. Here will be the double tax. So means the cost will increase, then the property developer will sell the product, the property to be more higher price. So that's why the service tax number 3 amendment come in. They propose a design and build. The proposal design and build. So design and build to resolve the matter on tax on tax. So when the subcon build the main con for the professional service, who are the professional service subcon build the main con can talk to the subcon, we enjoy the B2B. And after that, main con will build 6% in total all the services provided to charge the developer. So this is design and build. Let us go to the policy here. So look at the policy here. So for number five, the B2B exemption facility to grant the consultancy service under a design and build construction contract where the service are provided under the single contract to cover the entire scope of the work supplied by the main con to the developer. So this service tax is only imposed for overall project cost level to charge by the main con to the developer. Then you can enjoy the B2B when the professional deal with the main con. So look at the appendix C. So there will be a condition you must apply for this. First, exemption for payment service tax granted to the main con when you appoint main con who are appointed by the developer for design and build. So for the professional service, you only entitled the exemption under the person item 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 and 13. So now who are them? Let me check with the service tax regulation. Let me open the service tax regulation. So then I can show you what are the item 1, 3. Because you need to refer to the service tax regulation one. Service tax regulation. And then we have our service tax regulation here. Regulation. And then let me open the regulation. Alright, so this is a service tax regulation. But this one is not the update one. This is a old one. I just want to show you how do you know the item 1. So first, when you come to service tax regulation, you need to look at the group. So now we go to the group G. Where is the group G, E, F, G? Group G. Gucci now is professional and skill with the updated one should be named as professional and skill. So now it said item 1. Item 1 is taxpayer item 1. Taxpayer item 1. So taxpayer item 1 is any person who is an advocate or solicitor. Means first one is lawyer. And then number 3, who are the public accountant. And then afterward, number 4, who are the licensed registered surveyor, valuer, estate agent, license 1. And then number 5, who are the professional engineer, registered under the writer law. And then afterward, go to number 6 is architect. And number 7, consultancy services provided. And then after, let me go back. And 9 and 13. 9 and 13. 9 and 13. So 9 will be the management service for the joint development body and so on. So this is first one. You should know who are in the group of consultancy service, the group G, who are the person are involved in this exemption. Only their bill can B2B with you. So this is the first one. So for the condition, first, main core must be registered person. Because when you are a registered person, you only will charge the service test. Second, consultant are the one specific in here. Column 1. You see column 1, just I'll show you. That one is column 1. This is column 1. Column 1. So this is item 1. And then afterward, you go to the second C. C say this how is a column 1 is test person. Who are the person involved? And then second now, consultancy service. What are the service can be subject to the B2B? So you look at the service. So the service are referred to the consultant in B. So is this kind of person their service? So their service will be A. So means item 1, column 2, A. So this is how you're matching the regulation. You see, now I am solicitor. My services taxable is A. So this is A. Any legal service provider. So if number 3, you are public accountant, then you look at C. C will be here. Provision for accounting, auditing, bookkeeping, consultancy service, professional service will be here. So this is how do you refer to who can B2B with you for the professional group. So then afterward, the main core must obtain a copy for planning permission letter. And then letter of award, contract, letter of assistance, and other relevant document related to the design and build construction work from the developer. This one is to prove that you are the main con who involved in everything. And then E, reference number of the planning permission and the design and build construction contract. So you must state it in your invoice. In your invoice, when you issue the invoice, you are for the B2B, the professional services must be stated the planning permission and the construction contract, the design and build construction contract, then exempt for you. So and that exemption is only valid for the duration of the approval for the permission. And then afterward, exemption is only applied to the construction project based in design and build. So your other project you cannot. For the main con, you must impose a service tax on developer. This is important because why? Professional service B2B to you, and then it must be one person pay the service tax, right? So you will charge the developer. This is important. And then afterward, exemption will be applied directly through the self-compliant. Means what? You don't need to apply one. So always remember, when exemption is the self-tax, you have to apply. Most of the time you have to apply. But exemption is the service tax, you don't need to apply as long as you fulfill the condition. And then the main con must comply with all the general directive issued by DIGIT. So this is the design and build. And then let me go back to the slide. We finish that, and this is the one in the slide I already list down for you lah. List down for you for your convenience. You will know who are the professional person and what kind of service they provide can matching your B2B. So make sure you follow here. I already tidy up the information. So 9 will be the person provide the management service. 13 will be any person provide a maintenance and repair service. So this is all here. And then after for the policy update, let me go to the 7 before we come to here. We have the 7 policy. Where is my 7? Is this one is no, this one I need to look for my 7. This is a 7. Now look at 7. There will be some impact on construction work. Because you need to make your own option whether you want to subject to self-test or construction service. You need to make your own option. So look at here. Test treatment on engineering, procurement, construction and commission, EPCC, contract for construction of ships or platform. So under ECPP, you are subject to construction services, subject to 6%. But when you become a construction services, when you purchase the material, you cannot enjoy the exemption because you are not the registered manufacturer. So customs say you have to make there's an option open to you. So the industry is given the option to determine the meaning for ships building, whether it's manufacturing or construction. So it was subject to following condition. So if the company treated the shipbuilding as a ship or platform for construction service, then you're under construction services. You're subject to construction service 6%, and you can enjoy your B2B with the professional service and with your same group subcon. But you cannot enjoy the material exemption. So it means you purchase a material, you will pay the 10% sales tax or 5% sales tax for your material. And then if the company treated the shipbuilding and the process as a ship or platform manufacturing under the scope of sales tax, now if you decide to go for sales tax, so what happened? If you go for sales tax, then you will categorize as sale of taxable good. So you need to find your hazard code, you find out your hazard code, and then you are not going to impose service tax. So means you have to choose one, which one you want to go. So when you selected go to sales tax, what happened? The company, when you go to sales tax, you are registered manufacturer. You are already in sales tax. That's why you cannot enjoy the B2B under service tax. So when the professional charge you, they will charge you 6%. Your subcon for construction service charge you your subcon, if your subcon is under registered manufacturer, they will charge you. You can go C5. Schedule C5 is a subcon. So if your subcon registered under construction service, then they will charge you 6%. So you have to do some decision on your own. So I will say you have to calculate the pros and cons. Which one is saving more? Then you go ahead with which one. So maybe for this building, your construction value is very little, but your material is a majority cost for material. Then I think maybe you have to go for sales tax. Then you can save more. Afterward, second, tax treatment for registered sales tax manufacturer. So if you are the registered manufacturer, means you are under sales tax. So what happens? You undertake a contract to installation. So example, I am the one to manufacture the roller shutter, and then I go to the construction site, I install the roller shutter. So if I purchase a material, and then I finish up, become a finished good as roller shutter, I am manufacturing. Roller shutter was subject to sales tax. And when I provide the installation service to you for your construction is subject to construction work service installation. So now, if you are the register under sales tax, installation related contract you have to separate out from the value of your good supply. Because your good, you charge sales tax. If you didn't itemize it out, everything was subject to sales tax. If you itemize it out, your good will go to sales tax. Your installation service will subject to service tax under the installation work, but it depends whether you reach the threshold 1.5 million. If reach, then you register. If you don't reach, you don't register, then you won't charge service tax. So you have to have a look how to itemize your invoice. It's very important for SST. If you can itemize your invoice, your price will become more competitive. For the installation related contract, if you do not separate out your stated value components for your good supply installation, so the service provider is registered under self-tax 1, then the installation work is treated as part of the value for goods good supply. So everything self-tax imposed on entire contract. So if the service provider, you are not registered under self-tax, then the value of the good supply is treated as part of your installation work. Then everything goes service tax if you register under the service tax provider, the construction. So you need to measure how to invoicing yourself. Depend you are registered self-tax or registered service tax. And then number 3, for the tax treatment involved in the supply of contract, supply of construction material, good and construction work services. This is the one when the time before this announcement for the relief for tax policy 7, when the before the 1st of July, we already recommend all the and then the market still worried about challenging from the custom say you are police to itemize, you don't want to pay the service and so on. So now we have the confirm from the custom. So this is very good to us that for the construction player, you can confirm yourself now. So now this policy 7 say if the construction service provider, you issue separate invoice or you can itemize your billing. Separate invoice means what? You separate one invoice for the material, one invoice for your service, or itemize out what are the value for your material and what is the value for your construction service. Then your service tax only imposed on construction site, and your supply of construction material not subject to service tax. So your price will be competitive. And second, if your invoicing does not separate, you can't separate out, then your entire value for your contract will subject to service tax. So this is for the construction. So for construction side, so you can read the pros and cons. I already share all the information with you. And then after that, for the compliance checking, you always must ensure your invoice, you must split the service and material. And then second, make sure you apply the 6% on the service only. And then you must update your contract. Make sure your contract is updated and carry stated your contract which one is material, which one is service. You need to segregate out your value. And then end up exemption. If you are the design and build one, you can enjoy your B2B on all the professional service. So then after that, we come with the e-invoice. Update from e-invoice. So e-invoice. So government implement the e-invoice. So phase 1 will be 1st of August 2024. 1st August 2024. So e-invoice is the electronic invoice. It's not the traditional document. It's not a document which in the soft copy. It's an electronic invoice. So this document transaction will be recorded in your My Invoice portal. So this is the timeline. Chart so how to apply your timeline. So let me simply brief it out. So very simple. At first, to determine your timeline, you must have your YA2022 auditor financial statement. If you are Sdn Bhd, you should have that. So and then if you are not Sdn Bhd, the so-called partnership or LLP, you look for your income tax return form for the YA2022 YA22. Now we look for Sdn Bhd. If you are Sdn Bhd, look at your YA2022 audited financial report. If you revenue you have reached 500,000, means you must implement EY. But what are your timeline? Then you go to check the phase 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Look at your turnover. If your turnover is more than 1 million up to 5 million, you will start in 1st of January 2026. It's a coming phase 4. Lah. If you find less than 1 million but at least 500,000, you will be 1st July 2026. If you below, you are exempted person. You don't need to implement EY if you're exempted person. So now, if you got YA2022, you know your timeline. But what happens you don't have YA2022? If you don't have YA2022, then please go down to the green color here, new business or operation. As long as your first YA is 2023, 2024 or 2025, then check your revenue. If you reach the 500,000, your timeline will be 1st July 2026. This is how you determine. But if your new year end, is your first YA is 2023, 2024 or 2025, but you not reach the 500,000, then if your first YA is 2026 or you reach the 500,000 in 2026 and onward, then you will use the formula 1st January the 2nd year to decide your implementation date. So now go back to YA2022. After you check your YA2022, your revenue is less than 500,000. So you are exempted person. You don't need to implement EY for because you don't no timeline. No timeline, you don't need to implement. But you are not end yet. You must go to review. Continue to monitor your YA2023, 2024 or 2025. If any YA2023, 2024 or 2025 you reach the threshold of 500,000, you will straight away start in the 1st of July 2026. So means if 2022 you are below 500,000 and then you reach the threshold in any year 2023, 2024 and 2025, you don't need to check your revenue how much. As long as you reach 500,000, you will start here. Even though your 2024 you reach 5 million, you still start in 1st of July. You reach 25 million, also start in 1st of July. So this is how you determine your timeline. So exempted person, you need to be aware. Because if you are a member, to fulfill exempted person, first criteria is you are less than 500,000. And then after, you need to fulfill 2 criteria. First, you have to ensure your shareholder, they don't implement EY, then you are safe. Second, you need to ensure your related party, related company, they don't implement EY, then you are safe. Then you will become exempted person. As long as your corporate shareholder, not individual shareholder, the corporate shareholder, or your related party, the company, they are implement EY, then you have to force to implement EY, even though you below 500,000, but your timeline will follow 1st of July 2026. So this is how you use the chart line. So now look at here is the exempted person. So when you are individual now conducting a business, you are exempted. So you are below 500,000, you exempted. And then, if government, you have to be aware, government will be two layer. If the collection of payment features statute, levy, summon, compound penalty under carry out function assigned by a written law. So means what? Means if the law given the right to collect the fee, summon, compound penalty from you. Example, traffic officer. Traffic officer summon you because you're speeding, because you commit offense. So you can't tell the officer, please give me EY, then I pay you. No need, because it's under the written law. But you pay the levy to the immigration. Immigration don't need to give you EY. This is under the written law, is the function. So this one, you don't need to request EY. You just keep the document as a proof. However, if they have a transaction with you where the goods sold or service performed from the 1st of July 2025. From the 1st of July 2025, then they have to issue e-invoice to you. Then you have to request from them. Good sold example, if they move the office, they will sold all their assets, right? Service perform example for local authority, they have their own multi-purpose hall, they rent the multi-purpose hall to you, then you have to request e-invoice. So after you can see here, this is a condition you must be applied for the Senyum Berhad. You ensure your non-individual shareholder, they are not implement invoice. So means their revenue not exceeding 500,000, your holding not exceeding 500,000, your related cost not exceeding 500,000. So you can be exempted person. If no, then you. So you look at the example. So JT Motor is a holding company. So they had to total turnover 20 million. So start in 1st of July 2025. And then you are subsidy. So as a subsidy, you are below 500,000, you are exempted person. However, exempted person need to go to the test. You must test your shareholder. So your shareholder is your holding company, is your shareholder. And then your holding implement E1, so they exceed the revenue. So means what? As long as your shareholder, corporate shareholder, they implement E1, you must follow. That's why even though you below the 500,000, but you must follow. But your timeline will be the last phase 5, 1st of July 2026. This is how you determine. And then afterward, for related party, related company, then you have to be aware. Related company, we are using the promotion PIA, Promotion of Investment Act. So to determine what are the related company. So how you determine? It will based on the company, where the operation of the company can be controlled either directly, indirectly by the first mentioned company, or the company can control directly, indirectly the operation for the first mentioned company. So means through Senyum Berhad, A can control B or B can control A. So you consider it's a related comp. And then look at C. You have to be aware C. C say what? C say the operation for both company can be controlled directly, indirectly by the same person. Who are the same person? Same person is the shareholder. Example, A company belong shareholder A. And B company also belong to shareholder A. So means A and B, even though you don't have the management control, but you consider as a related corp because the shareholder is the same. So this is how you determine. So for the this is illustration you can see here. If A company hold a share of B, so this is related corp, and A, B, C company, whether you directly, indirectly manage, you can control the management, you consider is related party. And A and B company with the same shareholder, you are related company. This is how you determine. And for e-invoice, we have to determine your e-invoice by transaction. So you have to remember, when you issue e-invoice or you issue self-bill, is only on commercial transaction. So commercial transaction means any goods sold or service performed by the person. So and then there will be exempted transaction. So this is all the exemption transaction. You have the employment income pension, anomaly distribution or dividend, zakat, and so on. Or when you dispose the company, when you have a contract value for buying, selling the listed company share derivative, you are exempted transaction, means you do nothing. When you dispose of the share of the company incorporate outside Malaysia or not listed in the stock exchange, so this disposal of share only applicable to the individual, because it accept the disposal when you are company LLP trust body. So remember, unlisted company, when you dispose it, if you are the disposer who are company LLP trust body or corporation, you are subject to CGT, capital gain tax. So you have to be aware for this. That's why you are exempted from this exempt transaction. So when you need to be disposer unlisted company share, you must issue e-invoice. So once you issue e-invoice, IRB can trace your transaction. IRB trace your transaction, can go back to trace whether you submit the CGT. And so whether you are compliant with the CGT. And donation you should refer to the FAQ. So donation very simple. As long as you are the donation to the religious institution or the organization which for the religious worship, and then it's not deduction, it's not a poor donation, not a poor donation, then those religious institution or the organization, they don't need to issue invoice to you. So like we go to the temple, we donate the money. So you don't need to ask for invoice because they don't need to, they are exempted, they don't need to issue invoice to you. So, and if you go to the institution or organization or the fund which approve under the Income Tax Act for Section 44(6) and so on. So 44(6) is the common one, like 慈济. So when you go to donation to the 慈济, they have to issue e-invoice to you. It's a must. If they show they will implement invoice because their donation amount is so huge. So they already implement invoice. So you can go to 慈济 website, you can see the sample of the invoice, how to request the invoice from there. They will issue invoice to you. It's a must. They have to issue invoice to the donor. Then after for the transaction side, so for the commercial transaction, for those transactions fall under exempted transaction, you do nothing. Those is not fall under the exempt transaction. You have to issue invoice, or you issue consolidated invoice, or you issue the self-bill invoice. So for accounting transaction, you do nothing because accounting transaction is not a commercial transaction. So example, your depreciation, amortization, fee and sale written off, bad debt, or so on, you do nothing. And for finance transaction, your loan from the financial institution or loan from your members or directors, you do nothing. So when the commercial transaction will come in, when there's an interest applied to the loan, so interest will be the commercial transaction. Then after you need to determine your interest should be issue E1 or issue the self-bill. This is some exercise to determine your timeline. So for example, you are the Sdn Bhd, mountain jump Sdn Bhd. So your first YA 400,000. So you are exempted person. Are you exempted person? You still need to check where do you have corporate shareholder, do you have related call? If no, then you will fulfill the exempted person. Then after that, you need to monitor. So you monitor 2023, you still less than 500,000, no issue. And then up to 2024, you reach the threshold. Once you reach the threshold, then you need to immediately determine your timeline. 600,000 will be the last phase, 1st of July 2026. Then after 2025, whether you reach 25 million, 10 million is no more issue. You don't need to change your timeline anymore. We only determine our timeline when you reach the threshold for the particular year. Lion Warner this Sdn Bhd incurred in the year 2023 October. So when is your first YA? First YA is 2024. So if your first YA is 2024, then you check your YA. YA 2024, you reach the threshold 500,000, yes, then you straight away start in 1st of July 2026. Because the chart I show you, if you don't have YA 2024, your first YA is 2023, 2024, or 2025. If you reach the threshold, you will start in 1st of July 2026. And then afterward, for Ketan Runci, this is a sole proprietor now, sole proprietor. So you start your business in the January. So sole proprietor, you will determine your first year is under December cut-off calendar year. Sdn Bhd LLP Trust Body, you will use corporate, you will use financial year end. So-called partnership association, you will using the calendar year end. So your first calendar year end will be 2025. So if your 2025 first year is 2025, you are 185, so you are below the 500,000, you are exempted person. So provided you don't need to check corporate shareholder, totally no shareholder, right? You only have the owner. So you are exempted person, and then you continue to check your revenue until 2027 you reach the threshold 500,000. So as soon as you reach the threshold, then what is your timeline? Start in the 1st of January, the second year. So 2027 is the year you reach the threshold. Then first year will be 2028, 2029 will be your second year. So you implement in the 1st of January, second year 2029. For the Bingham Mangkok Enterprise, so you start in your 1st of January 2026. Your YA also 2026. So your first year is 3308 below 500,000, and then because you are enterprise, so you straight away you don't need to check whether shareholder, you got no shareholder, you got no redactor, so you will be exempted person. So until 2027 you reach the threshold, then you will start in the 1st of January 2029. And one thing you have to be aware, if you are sole proprietor, you have to be aware if you got many sole proprietor, then you have to aggregate your income. So you have to be aware. Now we assume you only got one sole proprietor. Walong Sama also same. You start in 2027. If you reach threshold in 2026, then you will start in 1st of January second year. So now you need to look at here. This one you have to be aware, because if you are a group or company, you're going to incorporate your subsidiary, with your subsidiary incorporate after the last phase, 1st of July 2026. Because after the 1st of July 2026, you need to determine you incorporate a new subsidy. You want to determine your timeline. How to determine your timeline? Now look at here. If you are a subsidy, you incorporate in the 1st of September 2026, and then your business commencement immediately. So means 1st of September you start commence your business, and then your holding implement E1 in the 1st of August 2024. So means what? Means you are the new company. You don't even need to check your revenue, because your shareholder, they are implement E1, means you cannot fulfill the exemption. So means you must implement E1. And what is your timeline? Look at here. So as the exemption criteria were not meet, so Coco Road Sdn Bhd, the subsidiary, is required to implement the E1 starting for its operation commencement date. So once you commence your business, you have to immediately start. So this one you have to be aware, don't miss it up. Don't go to use the 1st of January 2022 second year. You cannot apply this, because the one applied to the company, they fulfill the exemption. So this is a support. So now first we look at individual first. As an individual, so as an individual, you have a lot of income, right? You have your employment income, rental income, you have your loyalty, pension, and so on. But you also have your sole proprietor income, you have your partnership income, and now you have a sole proprietor income 450,000. Assumption you have one sole prop 450, and you have a rental income 60,000 with the property under your name. You are the owner of the property. So now when you decided whether you subject to the implement E1 or not, so you have to be aware, even though your total income together, your aggregate income will be 500 for aggregate the income. If aggregate income is more than 500,000, it's not applicable here, because why? E1 only on your business income only. Your all other income is not subject to calculate your E1, the revenue. So for 450 still below the 500,000, so you exempt the person. You need to monitor next year. And now, if you have more than one sole proprietor, 1, 2, 3 sole proprietor, so you have to be aware, because IRB said if you have more than one business, you must be aggregate all the revenue. Once you aggregate all the revenue, means what? Means you reach the 500,000. All sole pro need to implement at the same time. So your administrative work will be more, your management work also more, and it's also tough to manage so many sole proprietor. So then after we look at the example here. So now if you are sole proprietor, you got 3 sole pro. You got 3 sole pro. Now you operate your sole pro in the year 2027. You start your business in 2027. You got 3 sole proprietor. And remember, your 3 sole proprietor, you must be aggregate the income. So now you aggregate the income, you know that you reach the threshold. Once you reach the threshold, you will start the E1 in the 1st of January 2029. So now, look at it. You have a small business. If you want to implement the e-invoice, you have the high cost to you. after you attend all the invoice, then you found you have so many compliance have to do, and now you have to engage a freelance to do the job, and then you incur a lot of cost. So it maybe is a good decision, a good. So now you have to think about a way. So when you implement E1, what is the year to implement E1? It's 2029 implement E1. So now if you have a time in 2028 year, you know that you're going to implement E1 in 2029. So if you think you reduce your revenue in 2008, so you only implement 1 year, then next year you don't need to implement. You are wrong concept. You are wrong concept. You have to understand. You look at the B there. B say no exemption will be granted after mandatory implementation year. So means what? Means once you implement E1, you forever E1. I don't care your business drop revenue to 100,000 to 1 ringgit, you still need to implement E1. And then you got 3 so forth. I don't care you close 1 or close 2. You still the balance sole proprietor still need to implement E1. So for small business, what you can do, I think you can restructure your business. You close all your sole proprietor, and then you restructure your company by open 1 sole proprietor, sole pro 1, then partnership 1, and then LLP 1. So and then 3 company, you have your own 500,000 to calculate, and you separate out implementation your E1. It's much more better solution for you lah. Or else you split out your business, not all under the father name, one father name, one mother name, and one children name. So will be 500,000 for each of you lah. For submission E1, we have you can submit by My1 portal, or you use API. So for API, you can see My1 portal where you can see the e-invoice is a full detail. But by API way, you only see there's a QR code. The rest, it didn't present the full detail. This is a difference. So make sure you receive the accounting which invoice from the accounting software. You make sure there's a QR code, and then you should scan it to test it. And then when you submit the E1, you have 4 status. When your submission, status 1 submission, means you still pending for the validation. So once you validate, it will come out 2 results, valid or invalid. And then if you valid, then in the future, if you want to cancel your invoice, once you cancel the invoice, it will come out the status become cancelled. But remember, the cancellation is 72 hours from the time you validate your e-invoice. So an e-invoice have 8 types of invoice. So when you implement E1, you only for this 8 type of invoice, you got no other type of invoice, only this 8 type. So first you got invoice or consolidated invoice. So e-invoice or consolidated invoice. And then you have your adjustment company CNTN and RN. RN will be refund, means what? Means is reduce your sales and then also refund the money at the same time. Then you issue refund note. So self-bill e-invoice. Self-bill e-invoice, you have to fulfill the 9 condition. 9 condition can issue self-bill e-invoice. So when you adjust your self-bill e-invoice, you can adjust by CNTN and RN. So remember, if you don't issue the invoice, you cannot issue adjustment. So for the interco company, for assisting, a lot of people are using debit note for interco transaction. Now you cannot, you must issue e-invoice. All right. So refund note. So look at here. If refund note, so when you issue the e-invoice to the company and 2,000 for the company chair, and then the company pay you 2,000. So you settle, issue e-invoice 2,000 and collect money 2,000 settle. But however, the company come back say, I want to return the HA, and then please refund the money. So return the HA will reduce your sales, and then refund them at the same time. You need to refund the money. So when you fulfill the 2 conditions, first condition reduce your sales, second condition refund the money, then you will issue refund note. So this is how you will use a refund note. But what happens when the condition where the excess payment, where example you issued invoice 2,000, but the company accidentally pay you 3,000. And now you have to refund the 1,000 excess payment. Do you need to issue refund? No, because because you don't fulfill the two conditions. Must remind yourself that the condition is first must be reduce yourself, adjustment yourself. Second, refund the money. Then you only can apply the refund. No. So this is a nice condition for the self-bill invoice. You have your payment to the agent, you have the good or service rendered by the foreign supplier, you have a profit distribution, e-invoice, e-commerce transaction only applicable to the platform. And then payout for the betting and gaming vendor, this is for the licensed betting and gaming provider. And then transaction with the individual who are not conducting a business. And now remember when I told you the gig, right? They are the freelance, right? They are the contract for service, right? So they are provide a service to you. They are doing business. They are not individual who are not conducting a business. So when you deal with them, you should ask them issue an invoice to you. When they issue the invoice to you, then you ask them, are you implement invoice? If yes, give me invoice. So if they reach 500,000, they should issue invoice to you when you request. If they not reach the invoice, they not reach 500,000, they are below 500,000, they are exempt person. They give you a normal invoice. So you receive the normal invoice, then recording your transaction. No worries, it's still alright. Because IRB say any document, existing document issued by the exempt person will be acceptable as a proof of expenditure. So you have to be away from here, because here is very confusing. You totally don't know the individual are conducting a business or not conducting a business. So normally I will recommend for those people, if you are individual and you are conducting a business, I will recommend you better go to set up a SSM. Because why? Because when you set up a SSM, then you can set up your business account. When IRB come to audit you, IRB won't go to access your individual. Normally, IRB will only access your business account unless they find out that some issue, they have to access your individual, or else they won't access your individual. But if you didn't register SSN, you didn't have a business account, then when IRB come to access you, they will access your individual account. When your individual account is piece of mess, a lot of money come in, some money from family member, some money from some gift money from someone else, then IRB will ask you to expend all. Then you have a trouble to expend so many grandmother old story. Yeah? How are you going to justify when you cannot just say IRB will say, oh, under declare, then you have to pay tax. So recommend, if you are the freelance, I still recommend you better go to register the SSM. This is a good thing to avoid more risk on tax audit. And also good thing to tell the customer that you are doing business. So you won't happen that when you provide a service, you are the freelance, and then the customer issue self-bill to you. Because customer say, I don't trust you, you are doing business, I want to do self-bill, I worry IRB come, IRB say, oh, you don't do self-bill because this is individual, you don't do self-bill, I will go and compound you are command or offense. So this is some difficulty in the practical business world. So 7 is about interest. So interest, when you are interest payment, you have to do self-bill lah. But these 5 conditions, you don't need to do self-bill. These 5 conditions, you don't need to do self-bill. Where you deal with financial institution, where you are the employer, you charge interest to your employee, so you issue invoice. When you are Malaysia borrower, you borrow money to a foreign, they pay you interest, then you issue invoice to a foreigner, and also late payment charges and so on. So that's why I told you interest payment, you must carefully determine, are you the one to issue invoice or are you the one to issue self-bill? So for determine here, it's very simple. As long as you are B2B loan, business to business, example, holding loan to subsidy, then most of the time you are fall under the subsidy, have to issue the self-bill to the holding, or you are loan from your friend company, or you loan for the company who are not the financial institution, then you will issue self-bill to them when you pay the interest part. Number 8 is for the insurance company that will self-bill to you when the compensation or benefit beneficial payment payout to the policy holder or the beneficiary. Number 9 is deal with the investor and investee. So this one is related to capital reduction, share capital redemption, and the share buyback and so on. Liquidation process. So the example capital return of capital. Example return on capital. So if you invest 1 million into the Sdn Bhd, and then afterward the Sdn Bhd management told you actually the capital 500,000 capital 500,000 good enough. So that means another half 500,000 is extra already. So as an investor, I will ask the Sdn Bhd, please return the 500,000 capital back. Inform the secretary, go to inform the registrar that the capital will be from 1 million become 500,000 because we are going to return the capital back to the shareholder. So when the capital return back to the shareholder, the Sdn Bhd is an investee. Investor is a shareholder. So Sdn Bhd will issue a self-pay invoice when return the capital to the investor. So and then you have to be aware the timeline. Timeline will follow your written agreement. So if you got agreement, follow the date of agreement. If you need to consent, follow the government consent date. So if no agreement, then follow the date of completion. What's the mean by date of completion? When the 500,000 bank into the shareholder, then consider you complete the transaction. Then you self-bill it. So this is the thing for self-bill. So most common one for the company, most common one is what? Payment to the agent. You got appointed the agent. This is the most common one. You have to do self-bill. And then second is import service, and then afterward will be the transaction with individual. This is the most common one. Profit distribution most of the time is deal with the unit trust. So e-commerce transaction only deal with the e-commerce platform. The Grab, the Panda, the Lazada, Shopee. So now for issue invoice, please go to read all your particular. Remember all your data field. Data field, you must know as a supplier you have to have this 10, and as a customer, as a supplier you must request your customer fill out this 7 information. Or e-invoice is optional. This is mandatory. So you must read this because you must ensure all the mandatory information you have. Optional you don't have is okay, but you should have all the mandatory. So for the customer side, I will recommend you must have you must make the e-invoice email become mandatory. Because why? Because a lot there's some accounting software. Some of the accounting software, they have the convenient button. After you validate your e-invoice, you just press a send button. The software will automate help you send the e-invoice to your customer. So you don't need to download the soft copy and open your email and then compose your email and put out your customer detail, put out the subject title, and then draw an email to tell your customer who and so how are you greeting, and then tell them attach your e-invoice for your per user, and then thank you so much, and then you click send, and then you forget attach your e-invoice, and then you do one more time. So this is to facilitate yourself to commit efficiency your work. And information, this is all the information for your particular, for your invoice particular. You should have all the mandatory thing. And for your product and service, make sure your mandatory here. And product and service here, make sure you know your type of service. So if you subject to service, put on your service tax and put on your rate. If you subject to sub tax, put on your sub tax and put on your rate. It's tourism tax, then you select your tax here. And then if you are under the sell tax on low value good, when you sell bill, you're under the sell tax on low value good, you also need to do this as well. When you issue the sell bill. So then after mandatory thing, you can do it or you don't do it also can. It's up to you. So my recommend all the mandatory thing, please remember all. When you import, remember K1 form is a must. Okay, export you don't key your K2 is up to you. K1 is a must. So and particular payment is all optional. It's up to you. And then you can look at here. There's a prepayment column here. Prepayment amount, prepayment date, prepayment reference number, prepayment bill number. So prepayment number is a UUID number the number has your tracking your document numbers. So here is a prepayment because e-invoice also subject to advance payment for non-refundable deposit. So you need to issue EY when you receive the deposit is non-refundable or you receive the advance from your customer. So once you issue the invoice for advances, so then after when the transact happen, you issue another EY from the actual transact, and then you will key in your prepayment in this column. However, this is optional, up to you. Up to you, it's optional. Don't worry, it's optional, it's up to you. Want to key in also can, you don't key in also can. If you key in here, then your My Invoice Portal, the figure will tidy will tie up to your account. You don't key in also can, but most of the accounting software cannot key in here. You can't make it key in this one. You have to use My Invoice Portal manually, then you can key in. So I would say you can ignore it at the moment when you e-invoice for advance, e-invoice from the actual transaction. And you don't worry because you e-invoice advance means your sales is than your management level. Don't worry because you read the e-invoice, this is stated the word advance. Advance is not a sales. Alright? So you don't worry. And then one more thing, I need to let you know that your My Invoice Portal will never ever become as tally to your P&L. Because why? Because first, it's not everything must issue e-invoice. There will be some exempt transaction. Second, for the expenses, there will be the supplier who are 500,000 below. They issue you normal invoice. The transact will not quoted in the My Invoice Portal. That's why, don't worry, it won't be exactly matching your transaction, your P&L report. It won't be. One day until we are fully implement to all everybody know exactly one all the transaction. 7 is for recipient the good and so on. Then afterward you should know the general team, because when you deal with the individual, no team number for you, you should know the general team. 10 for individual, 10 also for consolidated, 20 is for the foreigner, 30 when you issue self-bill foreigner, you put 30, 40 when you deal with government. Then afterward timing, you should know the timing. E-invoice no timing, consolidated got timing, it will within 7 calendar day following months. And then foreign income you will issue E-invoice when you receive means remitted back to Malaysia for foreign income. And then afterward the timing is 1 month. So example, when you receive in July, then you should be issued E-invoice before end of August. So for imported good, you have 2 months, but the timing is referred to your custom clearance. So when you receive the foreign invoice, you don't worry, you do nothing until you have your K1 ready. So if your K1 in October, then you must issue letter by end of the second month, means December. Before end of December, issue your self-bill invoice. For imported service, you need to compare your payment and receipt. If you payment and receive the invoice date from your foreign supplier. So normally now they email to you, right? You receive the invoice, you receive the foreign invoice early one. So foreign invoice received in July, and then your payment in October. So which one is early? July early. So then you must issue your invoice letter by end of the following month. So must be before self-bill invoice before end of August. So this is your timing, and then you have 2 type of customer consolidated invoice. So if you issue customer 1 e-invoice, then you issue invoice, you must cater the customer buyer detail. If customer don't want invoice, you issue a normal invoice, then you consolidate it and submit the consolidated invoice. So for e-invoice thing, this is all the detail. You should fill out as a supplier, and you get your customer detail, and this is your product detail. Once you submit, you have your unique identifier number, you have your digital signature, validation date and time, also the QR code. This is the consolidated invoice. You can see what is the difference. Look at the buyer name. Because your buyer purchase a thing, they don't want e-invoice, so you give them a normal invoice. When you submit the consolidated invoice, means you consult all your buyers. That's why you don't need to put down your buyer name. You just put general public and general team 10. So this is how your submission. And then remember the description here is the invoice number, and then consolidated classification code must be 004. And then if you are selling smartphone, then you have to check your classification code is 003. However, most of the business, when you issue E1, your classification code is 022. And then afterward, restriction. This is an update here. Restriction to issue consolidated invoice. The old one say automation. When you sell motor vehicle, cannot issue consolidated. Aviation, sell of flight ticket, private charter. If you are deal with the luxury good and jewelry, you also need to issue invoice. But at the moment, no guideline come out, so you still can issue consolidated if your customer don't want invoice. For construction, when you deal with construction, if you sign a construction contract, you must issue invoice. And then wholesale and retail for construction material. As long as you sell a construction material, regardless your volume, you must issue e-invoice when you sell construction material. So you better go to check the CIDB for schedule. And then for the license, betting and gaming and payment to agent, this two is sell bill. This is two sell bill. So this sell bill you can this one will deal with the sell bill. So these two property you sure have to issue sell bill one. You won't issue consolidated. So for number 8, you have to be aware. For number 8, if you are the all industry means if you have a transaction existing 10,000, you must issue e-invoice. You must issue e-invoice. This will be effective from the 1st of January 2026. So 8, 9, 10 is a new thing to you. 3 of them will be effective from the 1st of January 2026 for telco and electric energy supply. So if you are distribute and supply the electricity, you have to issue e-invoice. So TNB must issue e-invoice to you, and telco must issue e-invoice to you. This 3 is a new thing. And then afterward, if you implement your e-invoice, when you start, you have 6 months consolidated. So this 6 months consolidated, no prosecution. And what you have to do is your life still the same, issue normal invoice. And then purchase also receive normal invoice. You don't request e-invoice. What you have to do, you just need consolidated e-invoice and consolidated sell bill, then done. But after 6 months, everything need to back to normal. So for those industry, you are restricted to issue e-invoice. Example, your automotive, you sell motor vehicle, you must issue e-invoice. But when you start for the first 6 months, if you decided to enjoy your relaxation period, you also can issue consolidated e-invoice. But after the 6 months, you must issue e-invoice because you are restricted to issue consolidated e-invoice. Then after, deal with expenses. So expenses, you must do some flow. When you incur the expenses, you need to ask yourself, are your expenses fall under exempted? Example, pay salary to your staff is exempted transaction, so you do nothing. When you distribute your dividend, this is under the exemption transaction, you do nothing. So then afterward, if your expenses incur under the sell bill, example, pay commission to your agent, and then imported good, then you must issue sell bill invoice. If you are not exempted transaction, you are not sell bill, then you are fall under the normal transaction. Then you need to ask yourself, are your supplier below 500,000 or more than 500,000? Because if they implement invoice, you must request invoice. If they don't implement invoice, you get the normal invoice will do or receipt or written invoice, because IRB will be acceptable. So now deal with expenses, we have some difficulty. Example, look at here. If you are the B, you deal with the business, you are B. So business to business, you have your business account with your supplier. Supplier will issue invoice to you. There's no issue for you to request invoice. They will issue and send to you. No worries. But if you are C, when you will become C, you go to cafeteria, you go to restaurant, you go to grocery shop, you are the walk-in customer. So when you are walk-in customer, they will give you a soft copy of post receipt. So post receipt is not an e-invoice. If you want to request e-invoice, you need to scan to request e-invoice. So you need to learn how to scan the code and request e-invoice. However, every different supplier, they have their rules to request e-invoice. If DIY, you need to request at the branch. You cannot scan one. Some other will be scanned. Most of the time they are scanned one. So you need to refer to each of the supplier how to get the e-invoice. And then when you deal with government, then you need to know government are 2 layers. If anything under their function or law, they will know e-invoice. And then with the transaction good sold or service performed on and after the 1st of July, then you can request e-invoice. And then this is example how you can request e-invoice. You go to the public, the popular bookshop. This is a QR code, scan e-invoice, then you scan, you do all the thing, you get your e-invoice. So beside the expenses which you have to request invoice, don't forget the expenses. Remember the sell bill, right? So this is a 3 common sell bill you have to do yourself when you deal with agent, importer from supplier, importer good, importer service, or you individual. not carrying on business like individual, the landlord, the owner of the property, individual. So you will issue self bill to them. This is a sample of self bill. Self bill means what? Self bill, always remember you are the position of buyer. So you are a buyer, feel yourself under the buyer. Then you need to ask your self bill supplier give you all the e-invoice, all the information, all the information. You need to fill out the supplier, and then you are the one on behalf of the supplier issue the self bill invoice. And remember your classification code. You must use the classification code start with the self bill, the one condition self bill. And then one more thing, you look at here with the supplier MAIC code and business activity. You can see the supplier MAIC code is 50 and business activity is NA. If you are a supplier, you must put down your MAIC code, put down your business activity. But when you are the buyer, you help your supplier to issue the self-bill invoice, you have had some concession. I already said, if the supplier not provide to you or you don't have the information, then you can put your supplier MAIC code in 50 and activity under NA. This is concession allowed to you. Lastly, this is very important to you. You can drop email to ask the question with the invoice team, and the invoice team, or you can chat with us. Chat with us, you are chat with the agent. Agent is not the AI, agent is a human. That's why they got working hours one. You must follow working hours, you can talk to them. So this is the chat. I set up the chat and ask the officer. You know why I will do this? Because we have a dispute with our supplier, with our customer. So we are oil pump wholesaler. We sell oil pump FFB to the factory, and we issue e-invoice to the factory. But the factory turn around issue self-bill to us. Why the factory will issue self-bill to us? Because of the GST era. In the GST era, they allow the factory to issue self-bill to the seller. So the factory, they still use the good old time GST, the knowledge to issue the self-bill to us, and then they are totally in the wrong position. That's why we already call, we drop email, we officer letter inform the factory they totally ignore us. So we can't communicate to them, and they ignore us. No choice, we go to the market hazard, get this. Once I get this, we stamp up the check, and then we send this to the factory. Immediately they call back us. So you have to use the IRB this chat with us to resolve your dispute. Don't keep dispute and talk to your customer, show them the bill and tell them this is the one, and ask them refer to this channel and so on, give them the training. No use. Ask IRB, talk to them, then you resolve your problem. There's a lot of practical issue come up when some of my participants, they told me where they go to request EY, the supplier said you don't make payment to me, I won't give you EY. This also happen. A lot of things will be happen. So I think I finished my sharing, and thank you so much, and sorry for the wreck. Let me answer the Q&A. Let me answer the Q&A. Q&A say, if for the driving school company, they are the B2C under consortium, do they need to issue self-bill invoice on behalf of the agent who run the championship? So now thank you for click the answer verbally. Thank you so much. And now, first of all, you need to understand appointment the agent. So if you appoint the agent will receive a commission from you. So I think this one is not an agent. Runner is someone provide a service to you. So you should ask the runner issue invoice to you. If the runner more than 500,000 a year, they implement invoice, they will give you invoice. If not, they give you normal invoice. You can go ahead and record your expenses. So runner is not agent. You have to make it clear. Agent is different. Agent have the authority. Example, I automotive. I sell motor vehicle. I appoint you see, I in KL. If I want to sell more car in the whole Malaysia, I will appoint some agent in Sabah, some agent in Kedah, or the far away from me, distant from me. So I won't go to open a branch gallery shop that it costs me a capital, right? I appoint an agent is better. I can increase myself, right? The matter is I give a better commission, right? So once I appoint the agent, I will have an officially appointed. I will give them the authority. They are on behalf of my company to sell the car from me. So this is the agent appointed. So when they have the commission, I will issue CP58 and then pay the commission to them. And then I have to do self-bill to them. This is agent. So remember the agent side. I don't care the agent is individual or the agent is a company. You have to do self-bill. They can't do e-invoice to you. You must do self-bill to them. Okay? They will issue normal invoice to you. Then after you do self-bill, regardless they are the company, you still have to do self-bill to them. This one you have to be aware. And then for the agent who run the JPJ method on their behalf using the e-invoice or consolidated, if the driving school they are B2C under consolidated e-invoice, do they need to issue self-bill invoice on behalf of the agent? So I'm not really understand your question. Is it you have to charge your student the runner fee? Then you have to make it clear how you're going to charge it. Are you use disbursement way or you do reimbursement way? Then you have to according, if you disbursement way, then you have to mention the disbursement way. If you reimbursement way, you just charge in your invoice. So this is a method there. Then you only can make clear your transaction. So if your student don't request the invoice, you do normal invoice, then you go consolidate, no problem at all. There's another question for you in the chatbot there. This one is, if a holding start implement invoice in the 1st of July 2025, does it mean all the subsidy who annual turnover are less than 500,000 in YA 2022 will start in 1st of July 2025? No. You will follow. I have the example I show you already. In the let me see. Let me jump faster to the example. You have to understand, because your subsidy who are 500,000 below, you cannot fulfill the exempted person because your shareholder are implement invoice. You cannot fulfill the exempted person. But your timeline, you will follow the last page, 1st of July 2025. You look at this example, is your answer. This is your answer. So I finished all the Q&A, and if you have any answer, please drop an answer. If no, I think we will end the session. And thank you so much, and sorry for the overtime. Sorry so much, and thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Keith, for sharing such a valuable insights with us today. And also a heartfelt thank you to everyone who joined the session. We truly hope you found it engaging and informative. So before you go, we would really appreciate if you could take a moment to scan the QR code displayed on the screen to complete our quick feedback survey. If you missed the QR code, don't worry, you can also find it in the email we sent earlier containing the training materials. You can just hit to page 2 of the document. Thanks again, and we look forward to seeing you at the next session. Take care and stay safe.